Hi, my name is Melody Alphonse, and I am the group leader of group number 20. This is the video presentation for Business and Academic English 3B. Alright, we are three individuals in this group, myself and my two fellow members, Anderson Michael and Byford Angoban. Alright, so our topic is the effects of mining on local communities in Papua New Guinea. So I'll be taking introduction, methodology, and the economic impact. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so mining is one of the important industries in Papua New Guinea. It is the backbone of Papua New Guinea's economy, and it drives PNG's economy through export earnings, government revenue, infrastructure development, and employment opportunities. So, as we all know, PNG is rich in natural resources like gold, copper, nickel, and oil, and so forth. So, however, regardless of those economic importance, mining has caused some complicated challenges for rural areas, especially those rural areas where mining is located in. And a lot of mining activities are happening in rural areas where many people mostly depends on rivers, land, and the forest for their livelihood. As a result, mining damages environment, it creates social impacts and land ownership conflicts, and also the health impacts. Um, the purpose of this report is to provide, the purpose of this report is to analyze the effects of mining in local communities in Papua New Guinea, and it aims to provide proper recommendations for um, mining sustainability and the fairness of mining operation in PNG. All right, so methodology. We have two sources. We have primary sources and secondary sources, but we chose secondary sources. So the secondary research, we have found the information. Um, there are three secondary sources that we have used: academic journals, government reports, and international organizations. All the reference are given in the reference list in the last slide of the presentation, and also in the last page of the report writing. And it is referenced in APA 7 that is in style, and minimum of 5 reference sources. All right, so coming to positive impacts, um, we have, under positive impacts, we have economic benefits. All right, so mining is the primary pillar of PNG's economy. All right, so major exports are gold, copper, and nickel. So under economic benefits, we have four benefits. We have export earnings, government revenue, infrastructure development, and employment opportunities. Now, when you say export earnings, is that the companies, they extract mineral resources, and then they sell it, or they export it to the overseas countries, and then the other countries or overseas countries, they pay, or they passage, or they buy our mineral resources, and then when they are passaging, it is a revenue to us. So that is how the mining contribute to the export earnings. Normally, it boosts the export earnings for the country. Second is the government's revenue. All right, so government says tells the company, it is a win-win situation. So the company, you come and mine in my country, and then you pay tax to me. So the company comes into the country, especially in PNG. They operate in PNG, and then they extract resources, and then they sell it out. When they gain revenue, they pay the corporation income tax, royalties, dividends, and other taxes to the government. And trust me, mining companies, they pay huge amount of tax to the government. All right, the third one is the infrastructure development. The rural areas where the government services, where there is no government services in, mining companies, they make it easy or possible for the government services to go into those rural areas where the government services cannot go. Especially like, for example, we can say schools, health, health centers, hospitals, we can say roads, electricity. These are some of the services that or developments that the mining contributes to the community, especially the rural areas. Lastly, for all we have employment opportunities. Um, Mining industries are the major employer for rural areas or rural people, and they also support the business contracts for the rural people. So regions, provinces, and areas where mining is located, their living standards have improved because of the income they earn from the mining and the development projects. Thank you, and I'll pass it over to my next friend.
Okay, now I'll move to the next point. Okay, today I will briefly talking about the negative impact of mining on local communities in PNJ. Okay, there are three negative impacts. There are three major negative impacts. So first one is environmental impact. Second one is uh, health impact, and third one is social and land conflict. So based on that, first I'll go straight to the environmental impact. Okay, under the environmental impact, there are 3 points. Okay, point number one is the water pollution. So water pollutions, mining release the heavy metals and toxic chemicals like sulfuric acids, chemicals into the surface and groundwater, polluting drinking waters, destroying aquatic animals or water animals. Okay, point number two is biodiversity and habitat loss. Okay, clearing large area of vegetation, destroying ecosystems, and removing wildlife habits, significantly reducing biodiversity in one of the world's most biodiverse nations. Okay, next next to the environmental impacts, the point number three is agricultural land and degradation. So mining waste and flooding damage federal land. Okay, rendering it's unusable for farming and directly threatening the food security of rural communities. Okay, let's move to the uh, negative impact. The next one is the social and land ownership conflict. So, so under this year, it's divided into social and land ownership conflicts. So social impact is, under the social impact, there are 2 points: displacement of landowners and unequal benefit distribution. So first one, displacement of landowners, a large-scale mines like Pogora or Perik displace uh, diverse communities from the uh, traditional community from the land, distributed lifestyle and causing food insecurity. Okay, point number two, unequal benefit distribution. Many governments are not fairly shared among all communities members, leading to safe intergroup conflict and violence. Okay, let's move to the land and ownership conflict. Okay, under land and ownership conflict, there are 2 points also. The land ownership boundaries. Okay, the main acts 1992 grants the government power to issue a special mining list establish traditional land and boundaries. Okay, point number two is compensation disputes. The unclear ownership records and land-based land ownership create disputes over who qualifies to royalties and equities and compensation. Let's move to the next negative impact. Okay, now let's move on to fourth impact of mining, which is health impact. So under the health impact, there are 2 points: respiratory problems and waterborne disease. So respiratory problems are chronic inhalation of mine dust and smoke cause asthma and TB. Mining workers and nearby residents most at risk. Prolonged exposure from blasting and or processing, reducing quality of life and strain health services. Okay, let's move to our waterborne disease. Mining tailing discharge into river system. Tailing containing toxic lead and mercury. Metals accumulate in fish and frogs. Cause long-term chronic poison, spread typhoid and cholera in communities. Thank you.
Morning. My name is Faisal Dangote and my student ID number is ST20374. The part that I got was on discussion. My colleagues have already mentioned some positive and negative impacts on the mining. And I will just highlight the discussion on the positive impacts and negative impacts on the topic. The first, the positive impacts. Mining drives PNG, GDP, and foreign exchange. Government revenue funds essential public services, rural infrastructure built through mining obligations. Oktedi, Pogara, Ramu, Leri is major employment hubs. The living standard improved in some mining regions. These are some positive impacts on the mining. The negative impacts is water pollution from toxic mining tailing, biodiversity loss and habitat destructions, agricultural and rental unresourced, displacement of indigenous landowners, unequal benefits distribution and violence, respiratory disease, and waterborne illnesses. These are negative impacts and positive impacts that under the discussion of this presentation. And I will be moving to the next slide. The next slide, I will be talk about the recommendation. So the recommendation that the government and as the company should do is the group that we come up that we discuss the recommendation. One is strengthen environment regulations, fair benefit sharing mechanisms, protect indigenous land rights, environmental habitation, and community health and food security. That should be recommended. That. And I will be moving to the next slide. The next slide is on the conclusion. My friends, the two colleagues have already talked on the introductions and the body. The conclusion is mining is vital to PNG economy. Generally, export earnings, government revenue, employment, and infrastructure development. However, serious environmental, social, and health impacts, including water pollution, land displacement, and waterborne diseases, cannot be ignored. With responsible management, fair policies, and community protections, PNG's mining sector can sustainably benefit all communities. Thank you, one and all. This is the conclusion. And these are the references. IPA 737. Thank you.
All right, this is the teamwork reflection. Okay, my role was to research and write the methodology section. One challenge that I faced was finding credible economic sources on PNG, which I resolved by searching academic databases and government reports. The other one, I was responsible for the economic benefits section, and a challenge was on presenting complex economic data clearly. This experience taught me how to analyze and communicate financial information professionally. Thank you.
I covered environmental impact and health impact section. Coordinating with teammates across different schedules was challenging, but we overcame this through regular groups meetings. Thank you.
My role was to write the discussion and recommendation. I learned how to link research findings to practical evidence based on recommendation. A skill will use in my future and in my work experience. Thank you. That's all.